Hi YouTube, welcome back. Well, there seems to be an increased interest in gardening over the last couple weeks, since a lot of the grocery stores have had food shortages. So today, we're going to talk about my top tips for first-time gardeners. Stay tuned. Now these tips are for first-time gardeners. If you've been gardening for a little while, you can skip to the next steps. But for those of you who haven't done this before, there's a little bit of a learning curve. And most of that learning comes with experience. So give yourself a break. Don't stress out too much, because not everything is going to grow beautifully for you the first year. And that's okay. The best thing to do is try to learn something. Some things are going to grow, and some things maybe not. But if you learn something, then next year you can be even better. And with that in mind, start small. If you've never done this before and you don't realize how much work goes into it, it may be tempting to just till up a half an acre of land and just start planting stuff, but you're going to get overwhelmed, or things are going to get neglected. You'll have failures, and then you're more likely to be discouraged and not want to continue gardening. So start small. A couple of small raised beds or a small area of in-ground gardening. Whichever way it is that you're choosing to garden, start small. My second tip is to write it down. Keep records. I wrote down when I planted stuff, when I started stuff inside, when I put it outside in the ground. What did I put seeds directly in the ground for? What did I buy as a plant start and put in the ground? Where did I put it? How much light was it getting? When did it start to bloom? When did it start to fruit? How did that fruit taste? Did it die? Take notice of what's going on with your plant while it's going on. Write it down. You may not be able to figure out what's wrong now, but if you keep notes, maybe you can figure it out maybe over the winter time when you're not busy outside, or when you find an expert who can answer that question for you. But if you wrote down what was going on, it'll be easier to figure out what caused it. Obviously, I do video when I garden, but that is not my main record keeping. Because what happens if your phone breaks, or you lose the battery charger? Whatever it is, it's better to have it on hand where you can pick it up at any time, no matter what's going on. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something to write it down. Anyone who's crafty, you can make it a fun little project and make a cute little binder and decorate it, whatever. People who are big into like the planners and they decorate them and stuff, you could use that. Just write it down. Whatever works best for you, write it down. My third biggest tip for you is grow what you eat. If nobody in your house eats tomatoes, well, just because most American gardens have a tomato in it, doesn't mean you should grow tomatoes. Grow what you eat. If you eat green beans, great. If you eat tomatoes, great. If you don't grow them. Don't waste your space. Especially when you're starting small, you have a limited area. It's not going to produce as much food as you hope it will. You need to allocate that space according to what you will actually use. I am all for trying new things. And I tell you, it's always better when it's homegrown. If you've only ever had something in the store, I'd say try it. But don't waste a lot of space. If you have an extra pot or an extra little corner that you don't have anything to put in, try something new. That's awesome. But don't waste a lot of space on things that you've never tried or don't eat. when you're choosing what you want to grow, remember, grow what you're going to eat, but some things are definitely easier for beginners than others. Beans, peas, and squash are all very easy seeds to grow. Peas will need a trellis or something to climb. Something with like a very small wire or string, because their little tendrils will come out, but they can only grab small things. Pole beans will just wrap their whole strand around pretty much anything. If you don't have anything for them to climb, you can buy bush beans. It takes up more space to grow as many beans, but you don't need to build anything for it. Although vertical is your friend when growing in a small space, because you can grow a whole lot more if you can get it up than you can letting it sprawl on the ground. Cucumbers are another very easy crop to grow. They produce a lot of food. They don't take up a whole lot of space. There are some that you will need a trellis for, and there are some that are more like a bush variety that they'll just grow on the ground and they'll be just fine. There's pickling cucumbers, there's slicing cucumbers, there's dual purpose cucumbers. There's all kinds of cucumbers. If you like pickles, get the pickling cucumbers. Leaf lettuce is another great crop to grow. Now it's hard to get a head of lettuce, but leaf lettuce is very easy. You just make a little tiny indentation in a line, sprinkle your seeds across, cover them up, water them. Give them some space on either side of the line, and they'll grow all crammed together like that. Then you just take, a leaf off of every plant until you have enough for your salads that you're making. It's very easy to grow. Carrots and onions I do not recommend for first-time gardeners because they can be a little bit more difficult. And to really get enough to use, you need to give them a little more space than, say, a tomato plant. So I hope these tips have helped you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and remember, life's an adventure. Thanks for joining me in mine. God bless.